Shay, say hey.
Hey.
Since you want to be in the vlog. Oh, I forgot to start recording, but today officially marks my birthday weekend. It's February 14th. Clock that T. So we're currently out relatively shopping for my mom. Last minute, of course. So far, she didn't really tell me what she wanted. She told me not to give her anything in general, but I saw her like constantly look at this and it fits the theme of her room, so we're gonna get that and get her a big card. And happy Valentine's Day to anybody who is watching this. I really shouldn't be recording right now because my phone. Oh my gosh. I really shouldn't be recording right now because my phone is going dead. But this is my, oh, you guys just saw my dirty clothes. My shirt, and I have like some jorts on. About to go over my boyfriend's house and we're about to do some Valentine's Day things and gifts and movies and yeah. Oh, I just finished my nails because you guys didn't get to see them on the last. I know they look raggedy here, but I really don't care. It's giving. It's giving. No, go ahead. No, do what you just did.
That.
No, do it to the tomato.
That.
Do it to the tomato.
That.
It's we're looking for imitation crab so I can munch on it on my birthday. Okay, now you can open it. They got my cake wrong, but I mean, I'm not complaining. It doesn't look ugly. So this is the cake. It's cute. You know, it's great. It's not ugly at all. But I wanted the words like adjacent to the left so I could put my candle on the right, and I asked for the words to be green. And I wanted them to add another letter. I wanted it to be tell Frank instead of just Frank. And I was like, it's okay if the letters are smaller, you know, like I'm fine with that, but it's whatever. Literally like every time nothing ever goes right on my birthday, so like I expect it. I'm not even gonna complain. I sound selfish as freak, but it's okay. I turned 20 in the next few hours, so I thought I would come back here and share my thoughts on my teenage years for last few minutes. I should have said last few minutes, not hours. It's literally like 11:30 right now. I guess I'll split it up into like 3 categories or like 3 numbers. First, I guess like 14 through 15. Really weird time. I think I went into high school really hoping that I could put on this facade that I was like more popular than I put on. And I think a lot of people could really see around that and understand that like it was fake. But for me, it was absolutely real. It was. I don't necessarily think I made like bad decisions during that time. I just think that I wanted to be more fast paced than I understood. Even though that really doesn't make sense. I felt like I put up with a lot of people for the sake of like wanting to like climb up a ladder, when really I didn't know that it was gonna lead to me falling down that ladder anyways. 14 is like, you never realize how naive you are at 14 and 15 until you're like 18 or 16 or 17, but you never realize how naive and how easy you are to manipulate until you're older. Like I really wanted so badly to be around a crowd who was like really fast paced and really popular, who I felt like could put me on, or put me in situations where, like, I don't know, I don't think I was ever a pick me though. Like, I don't even think that me and pick me could go in the same sentence, but I do think that I feel like I wanted to be picked, but not picked so badly that I had to like degrade people to get picked, you know? Like, I still had some empathy and sympathy and some personality, but I put my personality on the back burner most of the time just so just so people could like come to me, even though people really didn't come to me. I also feel like as I grew older, I realized how much I was in my head. Like, I feel like people liked me more than I thought people liked me, and I didn't realize that until I got older because I was so used to people like being weird and sugarcoating how they felt about me and like, what's it called, being like condescending or like bullying, but with nice words, basically. If I had any advice for 14-year-old to 15-year-old me, it would be to like be yourself regardless, because at the end of the day, like, people are going to find out who you really are, and then when they do find out who you really are, it doesn't really matter what facade you put on anymore, you know? It doesn't matter if you try to pretend that you don't listen to this type of music, or that you don't like this type of style, or you don't, you know, you don't mess with this type of wave. People are going to figure it out anyways. You're going to be who you want to be anyways. Just do it, and do it with no remorse. Like, it's just going to happen anyways. And also, stop trying to be friends with people who really only see you as like a token. No matter what token it is, like, they just see you as that token, And also, stop being friends with people out of pure sympathy and empathy. In the end, it hurts you way more than you're leading on. Way more than you're leading on. Stop categorizing yourself as the therapist friend that's hurting you way more than you're leading on. Way more than you're leading on. And stop being afraid of dropping people. Stop being afraid of cutting off your friends. Just do it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to happen regardless. It probably won't happen that day, but it's going to happen years down the line. Months down the line. Weeks down the line. Decades down the line. Just do it. Now, for 16-year-old to 17-year-old me, this is going to be kind of like iffy, because there was a really great transition between 16-year-old me and 17-year-old me. I think 16-year-old me was really hit, but like stuck in the atmosphere of trying to figure out who I was so greatly that I nearly forgot everything that I liked. Like, I felt like I had to start from scratch. And with 17-year-old me, it's like, you know, I'm building that up and I'm kind of getting more confident in the way I move and the things I like, and being okay with people knowing that I like those things and not feeling ashamed of, like, you know, like, do you know? Or like, I don't think you know, but I'm gonna tell you. 16-year-old me to 17-year-old me was probably the most rawest me, I would say. I want to say 18-year-old me, but I don't know. 6-year-old me, and it's so weird to say this as a 19-year-old or 20-year-old, about to be 20-year-old in a few minutes now, because it's like, it feels weird because it feels like I'm saying that's my prime, but I can't really say what my prime is yet because I'm only about to be 20. So it feels weird to just sit here and be like, oh, being 16 and 17, those were my prime years. I'm not going to say it was my prime years, but I would say it was my most rawest years. Like, you could definitely tell that, like, I was being who I was. The atmosphere was so weird then for me, but in a good way. It was great. It was great. I loved everything I did. I was so creative. I was so intuitive with myself, with the music I liked, the style I had, the mindset I had, the friends I wanted to make. And I felt like I was really motivated and amped up to do what I knew I wanted to do in life. I feel like the one obstacle that kind of led me to my downfall during those years were guys. For some reason, I felt like while I'm here and while I'm feeling great about myself, I need to be with someone. I need to, like, have someone to tell me how great I am. And with that, nobody can ever see, like, how great you are until you see how great you are. Because if you're not seeing your full potential, you're going to allow somebody else to tell you that you're not at your full potential. You could be right here, but if you don't believe and think you're right there, somebody right here will tell you that you're on the same level as them. Quickly, they will. And that's kind of what happened to me. If I had any advice for 16 to 17-year-old me, it would be to decenter not only men, but people from your motives and creativity. And allow yourself to believe that you are as great as you lead on. And stop believing that like you're playing like this imposter person, because you actually are that person. And you're very great at being that person. You just have to believe that you're that person. Now, for 18-year-old and 19-year-old me, I'm going to split it up and talk about those two separately. 18-year-old me, you were very confident, but you just lacked the motivation. You lacked the motivation, but you were very confident in what you did. And that's a very interesting thing that I've had to think about for a matter of months, and about how it kind of led down to a spiral. I think 18-year-old me is where you could see the shift between like aesthetics and just pure, this is who I am. I felt like I had started to get confident so much that I wanted to amp up my confidence by being something great, that I had to go figure out what that greatness was instead of doing what I usually do and find it within. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Pinterest, but I used to go on Pinterest daily and try to find, like, pick my aesthetic and piece it together piece by piece. And when I felt like I wasn't implementing the aesthetic enough, I would get upset because I wasn't being as aesthetic as I thought I should be, or as real as I thought I should be. Whole time I am the aesthetic. Whole time I am being who I want to be. Like, clock it, you know. And I was very confident in the things I did, but at the same time, I just wasn't. And since my motivation was already down, when my confidence started to go down, it's just like two heads butting. And all of a sudden, I'm jealous of people that I shouldn't be jealous of. You know, people that I love that I shouldn't be jealous of, I'm envious of. Like, I want to be like them, and I don't understand why I can't have this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying that, like, a lot of the things that I was upset about, I definitely couldn't control. So I'm thinking from now on, you know, with my birthday coming up, I do want to work on focusing on things I can control rather than cannot control. Being 18 taught me that you can be an adult and still feel like, you know nothing. Like, I was so happy to be an adult. I remember when I first turned 18, I was like, I could finally do what I want now. But in reality, like, you're very still much lost. I was very lost, and graduation was coming up quickly. College was coming up quickly. I was very lost with my way. I didn't know what I wanted to do, really. Well, I knew what I wanted to do, but I feel like I was rushing so fast to get there that I didn't take the time and, like, understand step by step how I was gonna get there. Like, I'm swimming, but we're not stepping. Like, if I had any advice for 18-year-old me, it would be to take your time, but not only take your time, but do it right. Because if you take your time and you don't do it right, it's nothing but procrastination. It's nothing but stopping you and halting you from what you actually want to do. It's nothing but, like, putting you 10 steps backwards. Also, when you're motivated, stop pondering and waiting for somebody to tell you to act on it. Go do it. Do it right then and there, or it's not going to get done. Motivation with no act, procrastination. Now for 19-year-old me. On the day of my 19th birthday, literally in the AM, somebody said, happy birthday, and being 19 is going to be your worst year ever. And while they were joking, you know, I couldn't help but feel like an impending doom. And it turns out to be that 19 genuinely was my worst year ever. Genuinely, 19 was my worst year ever. I felt like every morning I woke up, I was angry about something. Every time I went to sleep, I was angry about something. People would ask what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. College is a mess. Life is a wreck. I think when I actually, like, take the time and sit down and think about, like, why I used to be angry, or why I still am so angry, it's because I felt like I wasn't progressing, or I wasn't where I should be. And I couldn't really blame anybody, even though I wanted to blame X, Y, and Z. I realized that, like, I couldn't blame anybody but myself for being where I am and not being or progressing to where I wanted to progress. And that's a really hard take when you're only 19. Now, I am one of those people who realize I'm not going to have everything at 19, I don't expect to have my life together, or fully together I should say, until I'm like 30 to 40. I would love to have it together by 25, but you know, I'm really reaching for like 30 to 35, 40 at max. You know, I don't want to be one of those people to like rush into my legacy and then crash as soon as I rush into it. I want to build it up. But I felt like during my year of being 19 that I was just sitting down and doing nothing. And then when I thought about it some more, and I'm like, well, why am I just sitting down and doing nothing? But really, it felt like because I was scared. I saw this post one time and being like, some people are scared of their potential, however you want to say it, whatever. And generally, I do think that's the reason. But I also think, outside of for me being a little cocky, I also think that it's due to burnout. Like, academic burnout is real. Artist burnout is real. I don't read like how I used to. I don't write like how I used to. I don't play games like how I used to. I don't text people like how I used to. I don't call people like how I used to. I don't conversate with people like how I used to. I don't get out of bed like how I used to. When I talk to my partner, I tell him that I feel like I'm 50. And every now and then he tells me, he's like, you know, you're only like 19, right? You know, you're like just about to turn 20, right? And it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I've been here forever. It feels like I'm about to turn 60, not 20. When I think about being 19, I can't think about anything else but like the word anger, because that's all me being 19 was. I was just angry the whole time. I did make, you know, some nice changes to my life. I would say I understood more about myself, and my point of view on life is way different than it was a year ago. And I feel like as long as I keep growing and expanding my brain, I can at least be happy with that at the end of the day. If I had any advice for my 19-year-old self, it would be to just do something. To stop being so angry and to stop being so upset. And to just do something and focus that anger into creating something so it could be a step to where you want to be. And to stop comparing yourself, because of course comparison is a thief of joy. And to understand that you are young. You are 19. You are 19. You are 19. You're not 17. You're not 20. You're not 28. You're not 50, 70. You're 19. I would also want to tell myself that everything happens for a reason, but also not everything happens for a reason, and you have to learn to be okay with that. I feel like the more that you're okay with that, the more you start to understand and just be okay with life just being life. And also living in the moment. Because if you don't live in the moment, then like everything's gonna crash. And everything did in fact crash. In conclusion, the girl was definitely right about 19 being the worst year of my life, because it definitely was. For 20, while I have these very, very last few minutes, I hope 20 and I wish 20 to be great. I said I was going to take a cleanse, and I really hope I can hold myself to that. And I don't mean like, you know, just food or stuff like that, but really like a creativity cleanse. I want to get off social media, if not completely, at least mostly. I kind of want to be to myself a little more. And I don't mean like, you know, not like physically, but like mentally. Like I want to get in my own space and rediscover things and not just rely on other people to tell me what I should be discovering. I wish to be more creative, and I wish to be more acting on my creativities. I also hope to be more loving and understanding towards people, and not just being so angered when I hear about other people like situations, and being like, well, nobody cares about mine, because with a mindset like that, it's not gonna work. in all, I hope my 20s are like, well, I know my 20s are going to be amazing because I'm going to do what I can to make sure they are. It feels weird to like leave it off on this note. There's a lot more that I want to say, but holding on to the past really never helped nobody but historians. I take that back. It's true, but it's also not true. Let's just scratch that part. I'm Sanaya. I'm 19 years old. Currently a college student at OFTC. I go to school for cosmetology. I transferred from GMC as a communication student, and I can't wait to go back to communications. But right now, we're gonna finish this year off. I think I'm like 5'1" to 5'2", maybe 5'3", and I weigh over 200 pounds. So I guess we're gonna come back to this every now and then to see how I progress. My favorite artist is Frank Ocean. I play keyboard. I make vlogs. I like scary movies. I have locks, probably like, I think like 96, 97 now. And yeah. Signing off. We don't say bye here, we say see you later. My great aunt told me that in 4th grade. See you later. Love yous. And happy birthday to me. Okay.
What you want to say? Happy birthday?
Y'all can if y'all want to.
Oh, every card?
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Oh, no?
Happy birthday to
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, y'all singing the whole version. Okay.